Hello and welcome to another shortcut of our lengthy Karthritis podcast. Today we sit down with the reigning champion of CDM 2018, ScouB, aka ScouB, as he discusses some highlights from his overall performance from this year's event.
So basically we just want to talk about CDM and how it happened and how your gold medals came together. So ScouB, if you would like to tell us about the battle mode on day 2 of CDM.
This was one of my main targets for this CDM because last year was really sad final for me to win last year, and from in the final added to that a lot of bad luck, I think, if I remember correctly. This year was the main target of CDM, winning battle mode. Couldn't really prepare for it before because I'm really far from the top French player in France.
Yeah, it's a difficult mode to practice without SNES OT, I suppose.
Even with online tournaments, you can't really play the same than on a real Super Nintendo.
No, I guess that's true, yeah.
Or really a lot harder.
Right.
It's really different, I think.
Yeah, there's a bit of lag that's kind of crippling at times.
You can practice battle mode online, but you will still need to practice it on Super Nintendo too. And actually, my only practice on battle mode this year was a short meeting with Gio, Neo, Salim. So we had like a 3 days meeting, but we actually did play on the 150cc version of battle mode.
Oh, right.
So it was quite different from the we play, but it was really fun, I think. But yeah, this was my only practice in battle mode this year. In the same time, it was my main target for CDM. I was the least prepared for. So I was quite worried about my level in the early matches. But quite soon I feelings about my dodging and attacking moves extra. I think I only lost one match in group stage against Sammy. And then, the knockout stage went really great for me. I won 5-0 and 7-0 in quarterfinal.
Wow. Is that really the score?
I faced top 16. I won 5-0. And then Connor Wood in quarterfinal, 7-0. And then my first real test was against Drew in semifinal.
Yeah, that's a real test right there. You mentioned that you didn't have much practice this year, and even then it was your target mode. So
yeah, it was target number 1.
Target number 1. Is this your favorite mode or just the one you needed or wanted to win?
It used to be my favorite mode. I think it still is, but the fact that I can't really practice and play it. So I think I developed a lot of interest for time trial and Grand Prix.
Right.
Really don't know if battle mode is still my favorite mode, but it's still the one I want to win the most at CDM.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So the practice you got this year is kind of, well, if it's fair to say, you get some practice during the group stage of CDM because you're pitted against some easier opponents. So that's your warm up this year in a way.
Especially with the Belgian system.
Yeah.
The top players have to play low level players first. Good way to warm up.
Right, sure. So how well did you do in the group stage overall? You finished second in groups after Sami?
Yes.
Right, so Sami had 0 losses and you had 1.
Exactly.
Yeah, but even then you only dropped 5 rounds, was it?
Exactly, and Sami 6.
Oh, right. Well, in a sense...
yeah, I did better than him.
Yeah. All right, so that was a brilliant group stage showing then. So tell us about the knockout stage.
Yeah, so I had to watch the qualifier matches before. So I think on my side of the bracket, I would have to face either Adrien, Banana, or Layla. In the end, Layla won against Adrien 4-1. So, I was not really worried against Layla because I know should be a win for me. Let's say 90% of the time, I would say.
Don't make her feel sad, come on.
So I ended up winning 5-0. I actually don't remember a lot about the match. If she got unlucky or something. I don't remember. I think there were some random greens, or maybe it was against Connor. Because usually Connor is unlucky against me. I don't know why. It's a funny thing because we faced each other with Connor like 5 times already in quarterfinal. Because I remember 2012, I think also 2014, 15, 16, and maybe last year again. I can't remember. But every year I have to face Connor in quarterfinal.
You're his nemesis.
Yeah, and usually I win by quite margin. While in group stage it's always close. It's usually 3-1. I remember we had a 2-2 once. But for some reason in knockout stage, Connor gets unlucky against me, and it ends up being a huge win for me by quite a margin. So this year it was 7-0. It was quite harsh, I think. I kind of remember him being hit by a few randoms, but I think my level of playing was really well. So I think it was a deserved win for me.
Let me just point out that I think most likely many people feel unlucky against you. It's not just not just about the luck.
Yeah, and I also think that Connor maybe he's kind of tired to face me every year.
It could be a mental block at this point as well, yeah.
Probably demotivated.
That is a real thing, though. Yeah.
Because I remember the 1 year we didn't have to face each other in quarterfinal. I think he had to face Neo, and he lost only 7-6. So
Yeah,
it was
that's correct.
A lot
I remember.
closer match.
Yep.
So I think, yeah, there is probably a mental barrier against me. Well, I take it if it's easier for me to win.
Yeah, because he's a very good battle mode player, actually.
Yeah, he is. And usually in group stage, it's a lot closer, a lot more closer. But for some reason in quarterfinal, he struggled to play well against me.
And then in semi, you had Drew.
Yeah, in semi-final against Drew. So it was probably the hardest match of the day, because Drew is always at his peak level, especially against me. And well, I was right to be worried because it was quite a close match. It ended up being 9-7.
Let me just point out that that's a great match to watch, by the way.
Yeah, and it was also a great match to play.
Right.
Because on some matches it's really boring to play battle mode because of the opponent's strategy being really defensive or.
Do you mean pre-2016 Sami?
For example, yes.
For example, right.
But it could be also the El Nico version in 2004 and 2005.
All right.
It's really old, but it was really worse than the pre-2016 version of Sami. It was really horrible to watch and horrible to play. So you might be able to watch some video on the website, but it's really horrible. Hiding on every corners, doing turnaround everywhere.
Did you feel like when you were up against Drew in the semifinals that if you beat him, that you had a very good chance of winning the whole battle mode?
If it was last year, I would have said yes. But considering how Neo beat me last year, I knew it was gonna be hard to beat him again.
That's very true.
I actually don't remember if we played the semi-final first with Drew or if it was Neo Sami semi-final first. So I don't know if I knew before my semi-final who I would have to face in the final. Maybe we played at the same time actually.
But to be honest, if it did turn out Sami would win, like if you didn't know the result, would you feel more confident?
On that specific day, in group stage, I won 4-0 against Neo, and I lost against Sami. So I would probably felt less confident against Sami.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Because battle mode is usually based on your performance on the D-Day. last year Sammy was on fire, but apparently for some reason he didn't manage to put the same pressure on Neo in semi-final. So, well, it was a good thing for me because I really struggled against him in group stage. So I would have felt a lot less comfortable against Sammy than against Neo, I think.
I think Sami last year pushed both Gio and you to the wire.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit paper, scissors, rock going on. I think Neo and Sami figured out more for some reason.
Yeah.
So it's probably it was good for you that Neo took Sami out.
I think so. We will never know, but I think so.
Yeah, you could of course you could beat him as well, and there's no question there. But you never know.
Yeah, and it's funny because Neo seems to always have the upper hand against Sami. Like I used to have the upper hand against Drew, and Drew used to have the upper hand against Gio, and Gio used to. It's funny that depending on who you face in battle mode, the results might be different. So there is no real favorite in battle mode, I think.
And that's why the malediction can still exist.
Exactly.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
I think it's explained by this, and the bracket being different every year. So if I have to face Gio in semi-final, it's gonna be more hard for me than if I face Drew, I think.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, it really depends on the matchups in the bracket.
The luck of the draw, if you will.
Yeah, could be.
But more so than any other mode because of this malediction.
It's not really a malediction. It's the way you can adapt to your opponent's style.
So
and I struggle to adapt to Sami's style usually. While
right.
I better adapt against Drew or Gio and Neo.
So let's talk about the grand final of battle mode.
Yes.
So I saw it live, and then I've since seen it once on the upload that you graciously did with your 4G.
Yes.
And well, I want to hear your thoughts, but I have a couple on my own, so I'll throw those in as we go.
Well, I kind of remember the beginning of the match being really close between each of us. I think it was 4-4 at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And then I felt like everything went my way. This means I got powerful items. Like I had tons of star and tons of red.
Oh, absolutely. Your item lock changed at like the 4-4 or 5-4 or something.
Yeah. And then he got, I think, quite unlucky with some moments, probably some random greens or not getting the red after hitting me with something.
Sure.
While when I was hitting him, I always had a star or a green shell or something to punish him more. So yeah, this year the luck went my way, which was not the case last year.
So you mentioned briefly before you start talking about the grand final, the adaptation in battle mode.
Yeah.
Was that part of it, or do you just feel that the item lock changed so drastically that kind of carried?
I think, well, the items luck was part of the harsh score, but I did watch last year final again 1 or 2 times before CDM to understand why I did fail that much in this specific final last year. I think I learned a couple of things about my loss, which I tried to correct this year, especially some moves that Neo did a lot of times last year successfully, and I adapted to it to prevent him doing it this year, which kind of surprised him, I think, in the end.
Yeah, okay, that's cool that you actually went back and watched last year's final.
That's the evolutionary warfare at play. I like it.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, so I guess we'll just say congrats on that gold medal, and just what happens to be you got another one, right? At least another one.
Yep.
So we're gonna give a few minutes to match race as well. So what we're gonna do right now is this is obviously the podcast version, sort of, but we will do a match analysis of one of the group stage matches between you and Carol. So we're just going to add some, not commentary, but analysis to that, which will be only found on the director's cut, or the YouTube version, if you will, which will be released at some later date. So there you can check out the actual match footage along with the players, so you can sort of relive the match inside the players' own heads. So I think that's going to be one to check out for sure. So if you want to talk a bit about the group stage before we get to this match, ScouB, that's fine.
Yep, as you want, as you prefer.
So how was the group stage for you in general for match rate?
I think it went pretty well. Maybe a bit less than battle mode, but in the end I finished first the match race group stage with 11 wins and 3 draws. So I was undefeated in group stage, which is always a good thing for your momentum. And my draws were against Sammy, Connor and Carol. So this means I won against Neo and the others.
And the others, yeah.
So I don't really remember any specific match in group stage. Well,
Right.
Except the one against Carol, because I just watched it again before the interview. But
Yeah, so let's fire that one up. Just going to give you a link here, and we can all watch it at the same time. 3, 2, 1, play. So I think we have the godfather of Lafango on commentary for the actual match here. So yeah, guys, me and Joe are gonna sit back on this one. So you just to take us through the 4 matches of this group stage match race.
First track is Vanya Lake 2. We both get the zoom swords.
Yeah. It's all about surviving those nanners in lap 1.
Yeah, on the first lap. It's gonna be based on second.
Well,
Oh, about lightning.
Lightning.
Jeez.
okay.
So then there is a lot of panic on my side.
This is justified. I think I didn't handle the situation well. Because
Yeah,
if you have a
shouldn't.
lightning in hand, you shouldn't crash. You can just take it easy because you have such a big.
Then I crash again, and you also.
Yeah.
And if you didn't crash at that specific moment, I think it should really be a win for you. And if you saw, I killed the green shell with the star.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still going on the left,
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that.
which is probably a minor mistake on your side.
It's pretty major actually.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a shot to come back into the match.
Exactly. And last lap you're still going on the left. And I had a lucky shroom, but I think the main deciding moments was in lap 4 when you went on the left side.
But
It's
in
very
general,
cool.
my decision making was pretty poor there. If I look back at it.
Yeah, that's a pretty chaotic 5-lap compared to what's coming up, really.
Yeah. But VL2 is more challenging. Like the driving is already so hard that you spend a lot of mental bandwidth on just the driving, and decision making plays second fiddle or whatever it's called. Sometimes. That
So
definitely came into play there.
Bowser Castle 2, you killed the Fenner with your green. I don't know if it was done on purpose.
No, I guess I was trying to make an extra fender for you.
And then, yeah, but it was for you. And at this specific moment, I think your only possible item to come back are the feather or the lightning. And
Yes.
you got the feather. So obviously, I will try to block the way to the shortcut.
So at this point, ScouB, do you think Carol is in range for the feather?
Yes, definitely. So I did lead another green shell, but if you look at Carol's screen, it's really bad positioning. So there is really only one green shell that can prevent Carol from doing the shortcut. So he's still in range. So I'm trying to push my driving to win more time.
Yeah. And you early on I had 3 coins and you had 10, so I was a little bit worried about that probably.
And then huge mistake on my side. I hit the only green shell that was well placed for the shortcut, and for some reason you didn't go for the big shortcut.
Yeah. So another wrong decision.
Yeah, which was clear of items. So I don't know why. I guess that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. So what made me go do that is actually because my success rate at the shortcut line feather, the finish line feather, is not that high. It's like probably less than 50%.
Yeah, especially in match race, it's harder in match race.
Yeah, so I figured that I would still be able to challenge you with a normal, easy feather.
Yeah, but I
didn't take into account that, of course, the zipper is there.
Yeah.
So you could get up to speed faster than I calculated. So
it's 2-0 for me, while it should have been 2-0 for you.
Well, you did gift with the green on Bowser Castle.
Yeah, well, yes. But you were still on range, so...
Yeah, it was gift and re-gift. Just like VL2, actually.
With a red shot, backward red shot on DP1.
Yeah.
So at this point, my only chance should be a lightning. So
did you feel like you did enough to dodge it, or was that just...
I was not really sure it's gonna come back. I thought it's gonna hit some wall somewhere, so I was not really prepared to dodge it.
So basically, what happens a lot in top-level match race matches is that it's decided in that one moment, and the rest of the race is just going through the motions normally. Like 95% of the time, well, maybe that's exaggerated, but 80% of the time at least.
So I would... some bad luck for you.
I shouldn't have said anything. The retrospect jinxes comes in play again.
So which allows me to come back, touching the red with the mushroom, and in range for red shell or something.
Indeed.
Got a mushroom.
Don't think that's gonna be enough though. Oh well, if I mistake, yes.
Yeah, so at this point it should be a win for me.
Oh.
But for some reason I hit the wall. I don't know why. I think I tried to dodge you because I was afraid to push you on the finish line. So I went on the really right of the corner, but hit the wall instead.
I think it's fair to say that both of us didn't really hit our stride in this one.
So last Trackmania Lake 1. We both dodged the ice cubes.
Yeah, and the feathers, very important.
Yeah. And you got a red shell. I dodged the ice cubes, and for some reason, I still don't know why, the red shell goes through all the ice cubes.
Yeah, it's skill, ScouB.
So I was really not prepared to use.
No, I can imagine that.
Feather. So then I kind of come back with a long boost. But yeah, at this point it's over for me because even if I got a lightning,
I have the shroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's an interesting match.
Yeah. Quite an eventful match.
Right. So, any thoughts on that now that the video is over? Just something you want to throw out there?
About the match, you mean?
Yeah. First, I want to just mention the red, which definitely decided Vanilla Lake 1.
Yeah.
It's such a crazy red shell. That's not supposed to dodge the ice blocks like that. But Carol knew, right?
No, I didn't. I just gambled.
Yeah.
I fired the red at a moment he wouldn't expect it because ScouB is very good at dodging red shells. So if I would fire it after the ice cube section, he would probably dodge it on the wall or something. So that's why I
Yeah,
went
and
for what I did.
I had a feather as well to dodge it, so
Yeah, and ScouB, you basically said it, because you didn't expect it to do
Yeah.
anything, or didn't even expect the red at that point.
it was
That's
going
why it
to
hit.
surprise me. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an interesting dynamic, which is like you said, Carol. That was the decider for the the race on Vanilla Lake 1.
Mm-hmm.
And for Bowser Castle 2, I feel like the feather decision is like, I don't know if you have any regrets now that you've seen it again, Carol.
Oh, absolutely. It was the wrong decision.
Right, flat out.
Yeah. Obviously.
So what did you say? Well, yeah, in hindsight, you could definitely say that, but you didn't gauge quite where he was on the track, because you probably thought you would be side by side at that point.
Yeah, the thing I underestimated was how fast he came back to his feet and how fast he came back to speed. And of course, the zipper helps a little bit with that.
Right, yeah, because he hit the green, right? Yeah.
But having rewatched it, even without the zipper, you would probably still be ahead, because it was still quite a big gap. So it was just a wrong calculation.
Yeah, I think so.
But in your defense, you did say that your success rate is not very high when it comes to the last lap of the last of trying to just come back of a victory, I guess.
Yeah, and again, to be honest, my focus on the conditions is not always of the full 100% that it needs to be, because ScouB took away the green that was blocking the feather shortcut, and there were 2 greens there. And if I paid more attention, if I had more mental bandwidth to pay attention to those kind of little factoids, I didn't actually discriminate between the 2 greens in my head, like which one was blocking and which one wasn't. Yeah. So I didn't actually know which one he took out.
Because I was thinking you already passed the greens like 3 times, at least twice with the 2.
Yeah.
So you knew where they were and how much of a threat they were to your feather comeback.
Exactly.
Yeah, so him taking out 1 is a big flag, so you need to reassess. Okay, which one did he take out? But you didn't pay attention to that.
No.
And the second reassessment is how much of a gap is there? Can I do the stop shortcut now and still be ahead? But there's a third factor here. ScouB had a red at that point.
I didn't even pay attention to that, actually.
Me neither.
Right, okay. So if you did turn out ahead of him, that would still be an issue.
So that was the wrong decision. Completely the wrong decision.
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to draw 17 lines on the answer for you there, but it's a bit different in hindsight, I take it.
Oh yeah, I'll be definitely. I mean, I think I have the match race meta game and decision making process down quite well on paper, but in the heat of the match, I definitely make a lot of mistakes in that regard still.
Yeah. It was the same on Vanilla 2, where when you went on the left side instead of the right side.
Yeah.
Because I hit the banana with my star, so you should have noticed this.
Yeah.
Right.
On the right.
So it's a lesson learned again to pay attention to the changing dynamics during the match.
Yeah. Hashtag paying attention.
Yeah.
Shots fired. Okay, all right.
It loses matches though, as you can see.
Yeah, that's true.
One last question about the group stage match before we move on to knockout stage. The body block on Donut Plains 1, how much of that was Carol going into position, and how much was ScouB trying to out position Carol there? What happened exactly?
For me, that was a big mistake on ScouB's part, because he had a shroom, right?
Yeah.
So he could just go very wide and shroom next to me without me even having a chance. I was, of course, trying my best to block him, but if he took his time with the shroom and just went wide, he would have destroyed me.
Yeah, I think I used my shroom too early. I should have waited and analyzed the positioning of Carol.
Exactly.
Right.
I still had time to do this, but for some reason I used it too early.
So 5 seconds prior to the finish on lap 5 there, Carol misses one boost, which is why the shroom is relevant. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it was out of range. So,
Yes.
how are you guys, two guys' thought process at the moment of the boost not firing for Carol?
Well, I think I did not really pay attention to that. I mean,
Okay.
I just realized I was catching up faster than I expected, but I was catching up. So I focused on my driving and trying to use my mushroom correctly, which I didn't. But yeah, I didn't really realize he missed a boost somewhere.
Yeah, at the moment I thought I would just lose because he had the shroom. So the only thing I was in my mind, like, maybe I can still block him and I'll try. That's like to get a non-zero chance of winning. I will just try to block him, and yeah. But the boost missing was something that I was suffering from the entire match race group stage because my controller went to shit for some reason.
Right, that's true, yeah.
So, but it was fixed later on. So
that single boost though is what that changed the complete dynamics right then and there.
Exactly.
Because it wasn't a match before that. There was just
Yeah.
Missing
before
boosts is a big deal.
The random greens.
yeah, there was a random
There wasn't the random green. It would have been an easy win for Carol.
Again, though, even that one looked dodgeable.
Yeah, I
I'm being hard on myself, but still, it's something that if you're really paying attention to, the things that can screw you over, then I should have seen the green shell coming. It was not like the Yoshi egg in Grand Prix that just landed on my head.
All right, make sure you check the GIF for that one. Yoshi egg of the Thunder Gods. All right.
Yeah, that's enough.
Let's move on to the knockout stages, ScouB.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, if you want to just skim fast over the knockout stages and get to the final, because I think that's what everyone's...
Well, before the final, there were some interesting matches, especially in quarterfinal against Mario. It was really close, and I really struggled against him because he's quite good at two players strategies with items, pushing me, blocking me, and some stuff like that. Especially on Rainbow Road, where I was trying to decelerate to hit him with a green, and probably 90% of the other players would drive and try to dodge the green, but didn't do that, and instead he pushed me out of the track, which was a great move, if you ask me.
Yeah, that was a really good move. I agree.
So I was really surprised. He tried to push me at that moment, so I was not prepared to dodge him or counter push him or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the case on Rainbow Road, but it happened a lot on other tracks. And I was not really used to play this kind of players which go for this kind of strategies. So I was a little surprised by him. But then I think he kind of gifted me the end of the quarterfinal, because I think he missed like 4 or 5 last zoom starts. So in the end, it was a gift by him. At some point, it was really close. So I was really doing my best in this match.
Yeah, I actually rewatched that match a while ago, and I think Anti-Star's match race level, his potential level, is very, very high. Like, he was playing really well in that match until the moment that it's like a switch went bad, and he just missed zoom starts and started crashing. But it was interesting to see.
Yeah, I actually feel the same for GP, because against you, I think he lost quite a lot. He missed quite a lot of zoom starts.
Yeah.
In the last cup, I think.
Indeed. Yeah.
So if he fixed this, he's definitely a semi-final level in both match race and Grand Prix.
Yeah.
So yeah, before the match, I was quite afraid to play against him, because I remember a quarterfinal in match race against him in 15 or something, where I lost 7-3 or 7-2 maybe. And on this specific match, it was the opposite because I missed all the zoom starts. So it's interesting that this year it was his turn to miss zoom start. But yeah, I was really not confident facing Antistar in quarterfinal. But well, it's ended up quite good for me. But it was really a good match, and Gio texted me after the match and told me I was quite not lucky, but I could be happy to win this match because he told me Antistar was quite good against me.
Yeah, let me perform a quick anti-star shout out. He's sort of the retired and not anymore time trial champion. But the way he performed in the multiplayers and the CDM really surprised me because I don't know why, but I kind of written him off as mainly time trial and then normal French good on the other modes. But no, he did stuff that was quite creative and I haven't really seen many other of the top players do. So he's got a certain thing about his style that I enjoy.
The Parigo style.
But
He's
it's
got
not
it.
quite new because he already reached a final match race.
Yeah.
So it's not new for him.
Well,
But
No, it's new for me. I'm saying I haven't quite seen him play like that, or maybe I haven't paid attention previous year. But I was impressed nonetheless.
And then you went on to face a drunken Dutch guy in the semi-final.
on
That's
this match,
That's the shout out Aron gets.
Oh, he did really well to get there, to beat Jay. I mean, really, really well. But unfortunately, the semi-final was a little bit one-sided.
yeah, and we had to face in group stage earlier in the day, and I won 4-0 quite easily. So I was really confident for the semi-final. I was thinking just don't let him win too many rounds in the beginning of the match, and it should be fine. He actually won the first round, so I was worried at that point. But then I don't know if it was the next track or the track again after. It was on DP1. It was close between us at the beginning of last lap, and we were fighting for second place item. And in the end, I got it, and it was a lightning. So I got quite lucky on this round. So I think it made me lead 2-1 at this point, and it was probably a deciding moment of the match because he probably thought, like, well, if even it got lucky, then I have no chance against him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's probably the deciding moment of the match.
Yeah, I agree. I also watched it back. I think that kind of broke his spirits indeed.
Yeah.
Having said that, it was a 9-1 scoreline, and watching back, I still felt like it could have been 9-4 or so, and it would have been a little more fair. But he didn't really have anything going for him anymore.
Yeah.
He wasn't even playing that bad.
No, it wasn't. But I knew if I could lead by 2 or 3 rounds, he would struggle to come back.
And sometimes match race can be like that. I remember I usually face Neo a lot in the knockout stage of match race, and there was one year I lost 7-6, and there was one year I lost 7-0. And honestly, the year I lost 7-0, I felt like I played better, but stuff just didn't go my way.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can just happen, especially against a very strong opponent.
Yeah. So I think, to summarize this match, I think we can summarize it on DP1. If I didn't win that specific race, it would have probably been a lot more closer match.
Yeah. And then the final, one of the best matches in CDM history, probably.
Yeah, with the scoreline and some moves, some shortcut and some moves. Yeah, a lot of red shells.
I mean, I was doing commentary for his final ScouB, and the chat was absolutely bonkers the whole way. It was so crazy. Because yeah, I'll let you talk about it, but the tension felt by the people who were looking at it was unrivaled in Super Mario Kart history for me, at least.
I can also add to that after the match, Marcel, the bartender, esports arena guy, he came to me. It's like, "Whoa, that was so awesome!" And he doesn't actually play Mario Kart, or at least not to the level that we do, of course. So, but he was really into it, and yeah, it was a great match. I think that speaks volumes.
So, well, I do not have specific details about the match to speak about, but I kind of remember that PC3 red shell, for which I was quite proud, because it probably surprised Sammy a lot.
Yeah, when he was coming out of the lava jumps, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Did not see it coming. No one did.
I think I got afterwards a feather to seal the deal, so it was a nice race for me. I also remember the Bowser Castle 2 finish, where
Yeah.
I had a feather. I thought I was in range, but for some reason Sammy must have drove really well in the last lap. I don't know.
He didn't do anything specifically.
I
Like, he
think
didn't even hit
No.
the zipper, for example.
had
No,
more
I
coins.
checked that like 3 times.
He had more coins, I think. I
Yeah.
had like only 4 coins or something.
But I still, when I analyzed it, but I didn't thoroughly analyze it, but I felt like your feather shortcut was on time, but just didn't work, even though it looked like it was correct.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't, because I saw Sammy being on the last straight, close to the finish line, so it made me do my feather shortcut wrongly. If I had more time to prepare and to do it correctly.
Right. But that proves how
Probably.
much I don't understand the feather shortcut then, because it looked good in my eyes.
No, it was too far on the right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's definitely a deal breaker. But we were doing commentary for this car, right?
Yeah.
And we were both saying after lap 4, start of lap 5, how you were in range,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
and
was.
you were. So in the meantime, Sami caught up some time, and I was a little tripled up at that point. So I'm just screaming, "How did I make up the time?" Wah! But so he didn't do the zipper. He didn't do any boosting. He didn't do any spectacular driving, really.
You're just Sammy.
Yeah, but it was it was enough to make you not do the shortcut properly,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
even then, maybe you were too late. I don't know.
I think I was too late. If I did the shortcut correctly, I would have probably been late.
Yeah, it's a strange situation there. A very interesting lap
So
5 ending.
So one thing I kind of want to wonder is what was going through your head when Sami had all those match points at 10-6?
I was like, don't do like last year. Try to win 1 or 2 rounds before it's over. So I was like, don't give up. Do your best. If it's 11-8, it's okay. Try not to lose 11-5 or 11-6. I don't remember.
I think it was 10-6.
Yeah, 10-6. On DP1 I was quite comfortable because I know I usually drive better than Sammy on DP1. So I was confident on that one. Then I can't remember the track after DP1, but it was 10-8 for me. Then came VL2, and I kind of remembered that last year I lost in the final in VL2. So I remembered it, and I was like, well, don't lose on VL2 again, please. So I was trying to slow down and to hit him with some red shell and some green shell, but I couldn't do it. So yeah, in the last lap, he outdrove me. I was like, well, it's over. I knew the feather won't do it. So
He did not.
yeah, but I don't know why.
Yeah, no one knows.
So he was probably like, well, I won, it's over, and he lost his focus on the last jump. I don't know.
Yeah, he said something to the effect of, I guess I was just a bit slow on the R button. Pretty punishing R button mistake right there.
Sammy, there's no story there. It just tells it like it is.
Yeah. Just okay. I'll get it. I'll get my next chance, the next match. Let's go. I mean, that's the strength of your psyche at the moment, though. Just to keep going. That's exactly what you did, ScouB, at 10-6 or whatever. You have to just, I'll just do the next race. Never mind the scoreline.
Yeah, exactly.
That's tough. I would never be able to. I'm so focused on, I've messed up. God damn it. This again. So, props to that. Keeping a cool head at that point.
And also, probably the fact that I won Battle Mode the day before.
That helps.
Yeah, I already reached a gold medal somewhere. So
All
I
right.
already reached some good targets. My CDM was already successful.
Yeah, you already made the final of match race 2, so yeah.
Yeah, too. So I was not under pressure. If I lost, it was okay for me. So I was like, yeah, just do the next race best you can, and we will see. But then on VL1, I felt the pressure again.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think we did.
One would hope so.
We both did a really shitty VL1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know how I could win this one.
It was gifted, then re-gifted, then re-gifted, then re-gifted.
Especially after my crush with the ghost lap 4.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, it's over. For some reason, Sammy crashes as well on the same corner. It was really, really insane.
Yeah, that Vanilla Lake one was cursed, but someone brought up an interesting point that all the big deciders, the CDM, happened on ice tracks.
Yeah.
So the VL2, the VL1 time trial final, the VL1 you guys are talking about, which was a mess, a hot mess. That's what that was. And someone told me Battle Mode was decided on Battle Course 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Would that someone be anti-star?
No,
What did you say, ScouB?
it was me.
It was you. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Well, it would have been anti-star if not.
And then on GP, I lost on VL2.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was gonna call the whale shark. It was potentially called SMK on ice.
Yes.
But
that could be the name of this shortcut.
Yeah, that's still the idea. Yeah. So any final thoughts on match race, ScouB?
Well, I think we summed it up.
Yeah. Cool. So congrats on that gold as well. You did get one more gold medal, right? The overall Super Mario Kart World Championship.
Yeah.
That's coveted somewhat. So congrats on that. That's the third year in a row.
Yeah, it is.
Right. So how many years are you gonna do?
What do you mean?
Minimum 8, Pete.
Well, I don't know. I think my target is to pass Alicia on the trophy rankings.
Ah, okay.
Because she won 3 times, but she has a silver cup from 2007, so I'm still behind her. So yeah, my target could be to pass her and be the second best performance in overall ranking.
Yes, and then you're gonna retire, correct?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
No.
Don't do it.
Well, I actually think about it every year for CDM, but
Before or after CDM?
before.
Before.
Well, not right before, but
No.
3 or 4 months after the CDM. So in between both CDMs.
Yeah, so like a good half a year there when you're considering.
Yeah.
Right. That sounds fair enough.
But I'm still coming. So.
Yeah.
Sure.
SMK takes a lot of time at that level.
How about it?
Yeah. I think we're just gonna wrap it up, people. There's some final thoughts here. I want to ask you one last question. I've done this mistake before, but let's try to keep it relatively short. How did you feel about the venue and the fact that CDM was in Holland, in Alphen this year?
Well, the fact that it was in Netherlands was great, I think, because it allowed many Dutch players to come back, which is great.
Shout out to Edwin Peters.
Yeah, MJ, Rob.
Oh yeah, MJ, Rob. True.
Willem van Voorst.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the venue was great, except one major issue for me, which was for
The toilets. No. Okay.
For the spectator in the venue, you could only watch TV1 on the screen.
Yeah. Well.
For every match happening on TV2, 3, or 4, you could not watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually the TV is used for quarterfinal and semi-final, so it's a shame we couldn't watch them.
It's true.
Wasn't there also a stream delay too for the people that were watching at the venue?
Yeah. For time trial, yeah.
For
Yeah.
time trial only, yes. It's
Yeah.
been fixed.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard some people found it weird when Anti-Star just got up in the middle of the race, but it was finished on his screen.
Yeah, there's like a 12 or 15 second delay. They're like, what the hell's going on over here?
Yeah. Middle of lap 3, he just stands up. Whatever.
It was going so well, he couldn't lose anymore after 3 laps.
All right. No, so you did enjoy the general gist of CDM being at the venue in Holland then?
Yeah, maybe it felt a little less personal than in Lassus, because
Okay.
we are all by ourselves in Lassus. There is no... Well, we are...
No Fortnite?
really- no Fortnite, no Smash Bros. Melee or whatever.
To be honest, I kind of enjoyed that there are other people there, but when they got really loud, it was a bit annoying. But I like the come and go, so people would drop by, have a few drinks, play a few games, leave again. I really enjoyed that part, and even some local people showed up just to watch and even to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
So
in
yeah,
a sense, it was really better than Strasbourg 2016, but it felt a little less personal than in Lassus or Thiel,
okay.
whereas the venue is only for us.
Yeah, I second that. It's true.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, that's about it, huh? So thanks, guys, for the match analysis, and ScouB for talking about your victories from this year's CDM.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and that'll be it for this shortcut. All right, I think that's good. So go back to your daily schedule, people. Catch you some other time.
Whale Shark Part 2 coming soon.
All right, stay tuned for that.
Perfect.
Later.
Later.
Peace.